And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review. This is of It, the one released in 2017, not the original. This is the new one that was made for better. Oh, one was Steve. There's a Patrick Skarsgård, Steve Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård. I don't know exactly what his name is. That Pennywise, that one, not the other one. The not that one, the other one. It really again was released in 2017 to pretty big critical acclaim, and a lot of people really liked it. And some criticisms too, but and I knew a good amount about this movie going into it. I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a pretty good horror movie. I haven't seen a lot of horror movies, and there hasn't been a lot, but what I have seen, I think it's pretty good. The reason why, so they split it up. The first movie, It, it's just called It, focuses on part of it's adaptation of Stephen King's book called It, which is a 1,000-page book, which I've never read, but it's based off of that. And when I review It Chapter 2, which I also did watch, when I review It Chapter 2, which is coming out a few days after this probably, I'm trying to get them both up around Halloween time. It's kind of fit in with the Halloween theme, and that kind of thing. It's my technical Halloween content. I've been pretty busy, so I haven't had a chance to really... We didn't do a lot of other Halloween-related things. But that one, I know, I think the first two, both of them, really get a lot of praise for sticking with the book source material. And the first movie focuses on the section with the kids, and the second movie focuses on the section with the adults. So, if you want to know how they kind of differentiate, but this movie, I thought the attention to the time period, because it's set in 1989, I thought that was pretty good. With kind of some of the references and a few other the pieces that go on. It reminded me a lot of Stranger Things. I don't think Stranger Things came out after this movie. I don't know if when they made Stranger Things, it was kind of taking off of what it was, these strange occurrences happening, but the kids can only see it, and the people don't know that's happening. But that kind of gets a little bit thrown off when you think of the stuff that happens. Some of the stuff happened with the adults, and then also happens later as they are adults. So but it reminded me a lot of that, with that kind of ambiance to it, and that kind of thing, and also the 80s theme and the references and everything. And I thought, again, I think they did a pretty good job. Their casting with the kids, I thought, was amazing too. I think they all did really good with their respective roles, and they, genuine friendships and stuff like that. And I thought they did a great job there. And even the adult actors, even though there wasn't many that played prominent roles, I thought they did a pretty good job too, when it came to it. But the main role here that really steals the show and makes me really enjoy this movie a lot is, I'm gonna call it, I think it's Bill Skarsgård is the guy who plays Pennywise in both this movie and the second one, and he does a phenomenal job playing Pennywise. I think a lot of people criticized the guy who played the original Pennywise back in the 1990 version of this, for being too goofy and not really having a lot of horror effect to him. But anybody who had criticisms for that Pennywise are gonna love this Pennywise, because holy moly, he fits the role perfectly. He has the look, he can play the role, and he can play the menacing, clown role, and some of the moments right there really help capture the horror of the moment and really get you a little nervous, knowing that there's a jump scare coming, because it's a horror movie, but still being scared of the scare. Because of that, I'm scared of the scene anyways, because of how good of a role he plays. He really did a good job in this movie and the next one. I'll credit him in the next one too, but I mean, he did a really good job in both of them. That's crazy. As far as the jump scares, I mean, this movie focused on a lot more of, there wasn't a bunch of those in your face jump scares. I think a lot of them, a lot of quick scenes where it was just boom and it was over. A lot of the scenes were a lot more drawn out when they were scary scenes, aka the very opening scene in the movie with Georgie, which I think is is a heart-wrenching scene for sure, but I think it does do a good job of capturing the horror that comes along with like playing this part of the movie. So I think they did a good job there. The Eddie part too, and also the one with Bill. I mean, a lot of them were, and the Beverly scenes too. If they were they were very drawn out and helped. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing that they are drawn out. But that helps capture the horror of the moment. There's a couple that were like super quick, like I think the one bully when he gets killed by Pennywise, that was a quicker one, and I think they did a good job there. But most of them, like I said, were more drawn out. So and then when the scare hits, I think with the longer drawn out scenes, it did a good job of getting people's guard down, like, oh, maybe things are not going to be so bad here, and then boom, hit him at the end with that scare factor, and I think that is a good job of capturing the moment. Or it also helps set up, like making it a little bit scarier even, or a little bit sadder, like a character that you like is in trouble, and that kind of thing. It's a good job there, for sure. And a lot of the scenes like this, the graphics and the visuals, they did a great job there with a lot of like the goriness too. This movie isn't, I think, compared to other horror movies, especially of this kind, it's not as gory. Oh, excuse me. I wouldn't call it like super gory, especially compared to the second part. It relies a lot more on the psychological scares instead of like the physical scares. Of course, you got like the injury, especially the Billy guy, not Billy. What is his name? Billy, the fat kid. I mean, he gets fucking ripped on, not just by Pennywise, but the bullies too, and the bully characters too. They did a great job playing their roles as well, especially all of them did a good job playing their respective parts. And I think, I know it doesn't really matter for this movie. It matters more going into the next one about Henry Bowers killing his other two friends after the other one disappears. Near the end of the movie, that was a deleted scene, but I think it would have been kind of cool if they included that, but they didn't, which is okay. I mean, 2 hours and 14 minutes isn't an extremely long run time. Well, I thought it was going to be longer. I thought it was going to be around the 3-hour mark, especially with all the source material they had to cover and everything. So I think that's a pretty good runtime. I thought the pacing of the movie was actually pretty good. I thought it was going to be a lot more drawn out than it was, but I thought it had really no boring moments to it at all. And even like the parts where there wasn't action going on, I think the interactions between the kid characters and their adventures really helped capture the magic of the movie and allowed us to keep our eyes on the screen, because there was a lot to digest when it came to learning about the characters and learning about the backstory and that kind of thing. So I think they did a good job there as well. So I enjoyed it on that regard. And overall, I mean, I don't want to spoil it a whole lot, but this was a great movie. Definitely a good 9 out of 10 for me. It's not my all-time favorite movie that I've ever watched, but it's really close. As far as horror movies go, I haven't seen a lot of horror movies, but as far as horror movies go for me, this is definitely one of my favorites. It's not like super scary, not like super traumatizing, but it's scary enough to where it provides that scare factor, and also it's just a good acting, good effects, good CGI, good everything played around. So it was really good. So if you've seen this movie, like to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. If you've read the book, how close is it part 1 compared to the source material? I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section down below, and also how you compare it to the kids section of the It movie from 1990. I'd like to hear your thoughts about that as well in the comment section down below. And stay tuned for much more amazing content. Again, I will be reviewing It Part 2, It Chapter 2, that will be coming out soon. But probably around Halloween time, if not on Halloween. Maybe it's not going to come out on Halloween. Probably get out a little bit before. So stay tuned for that, and also stay tuned for much more amazing content. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.